Hello and welcome to episode 114 of the Video Game Choo Choo podcast. I am your host, John, and with me this week we have Michael.
Hello, I'm an Agumon.
And we have Ryan.
Hello, I am not what Michael just said.
Which Digimon are you, Ryan?
Agumon. I'm Agumon.
I'm the one with a gun. I don't know. I don't know anything about Digimon. I'm sorry, John.
That's surprisingly a lot of them.
Yeah.
Mummymon.
There's a lot of Digimon.
Mummymon had 2 guns.
Holy shit. Which one's Which one's the coolest Digimon?
Like War Greymon, probably.
Black War Greymon.
Then I'm not that one.
All right, you're Numamon.
Which
I
one's
think
that?
is that the poop one?
Don't say that about Ryan.
I don't know. That's fine. I guess
He's
He's
Sukamon.
I kind of like that one that John showed. That's like the robot with like the transparent dome on its head. That one's kind of neat.
Right.
Datamon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, you could be Datamon.
He's an ultimate.
Sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. I am the ultimate.
Mm-hmm. I want to be Infirmon.
Which one is
the
that?
virus thingy, the spider virus thingy. That's me.
Okay.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. That's cool. But yeah, so you're talking about Digimon, Michael.
I did.
Because I know you've been playing some Digimon recently. You want to hop right into that?
Sure.
All right, Michael, what's going on with you?
That was me hopping. I don't know if you can hear that.
Nope.
It's hopping.
Nope.
I've been playing, I think... Let me look at my save file here.
Mm-hmm.
I am at 16 hours and 20 minutes with Digimon.
Wow.
Which, to be fair, about like an hour of that was in a pause screen, because I didn't realize that if you just leave it at a pause screen, it keeps counting, which I hate when RPGs do that.
Yeah, that's a little frustrating.
Yeah, but I'm about 16 hours in. I think I'm in chapter 6.
You have a long way to go.
Yeah, what did we say? I looked it up. It was like 20, right?
I guess, yeah. I'm like 25, 26 hours in, and I'm on chapter 13.
Okay,
so
yeah. It's we were talking about it the other day in Slack. For me as an individual, for just me, having had played Digimon games in the past, like I played like Digimon World 1 and 3, and I had one of the fighting games, like Spirit something on GBA, which is
that game sucked shit.
Yeah. I had the original Tamagotchis way back when. Like I have seen it grow and crumble and grow again.
The vast lore of Digimon.
Yeah, the sands of time.
Yeah, a lot of sadness with Digimon.
Yeah.
I own Digimon, the original Digimon trading cards somewhere. So I have been into Digimon for a while.
Yes.
This game is, especially if I was younger, is perfect for the Digimon nostalgic person inside of me.
This is Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth.
Yes,
to be
it's the newest.
Exact.
Yeah, and I'm playing on the PS4.
Yes.
I don't have the Vita one because I'm not crazy. Everything it does with the Digimon is perfect, I think. Mm-hmm. It's everything else that is shit. And it's not all terrible. Some of it's interesting. There are, I guess the best way to explain what this game is, and I know, John, you kind of covered it the other week, but it's like a dungeon crawler. It's very much like Persona. You go up to people, you talk to them. There's a variety of people around. You're not just talking to the same people over and over again. You get
it's heavily SMT. Like it's not just Persona. I've heard a lot of
Persona
people say
is
that
my
this
point.
is super easy Nocturne.
Okay, Persona is my point of like knowledge.
Sure.
So, and we did a Ride to Rails like a month ago now. It's been a while.
It was a while.
Yeah, so you can go see what it looks like. It's just there's so much text in this game. Just so much text. I started a chapter. I think it was the start of this chapter, and you go into like these sewers, and you have to go into like a digital panel. You have to go into the cyberspace. You get the password, and then you come out and you go through the door. And as soon as you come through the door, you have to probably thumb your way through and read through 20 to 25 things of text. Maybe that's too much, but it was a while. It was a lot. And then you just run down a corridor, and she says more text at you, and then you come back. So this game has a weird relationship with like time and how it treats the person, like the player's time. There are times where it'll say, "Oh, time to go back to the office," and you're in the middle of a dungeon. It's like, "Oh, cool! I can walk all the way back through this dungeon and keep leveling up and grinding." No, it takes you straight back to the office. And then there are times where it just makes you thumb through like just text, not even voiced over, but text, and you just sit there and thumb through it, and it's just like the lore of Japan and what it has to do with this cyberspace, digital waves, and it's just, at some point, it's just gobbledygook, and I just kind of glaze over and try to scan it for important phrases.
Sure.
That stuff's just, some of it's funny. Depending on the character, I actually sit and read it and enjoy it. But man, there are some of it's just so dry that I can't. I just sit there smashing A or smashing X and just hoping I can get through it.
Mm-hmm. I would blame some of that on the translation. It has a dry, sometimes very confusing, and poorly chosen translation. Like I mentioned this on multiple different versions of podcast and video and all that, where it's just so weird some of the choices they make with like how they translate characters' accents and how they'll drop accents after a while. Like one character is supposed to be like from America, from the South, and she'll have a Southern accent in one scene and then won't in another scene.
But the South is like that all the time, though, John.
That's the Japanese voiceover. That's original. That's not translation.
No, not the voice. I mean the text. The text, like a character will like use y'all, or they'll have like shortened words that imply a Southern accent.
Sure.
But then in the next scene, they won't have that anymore. Like they'll say similar words, but they won't have those accents present.
Yeah, that frustrates me. Like the text frustrates me. I think the story's okay. I haven't gotten very far, so a lot of the stuff really hasn't opened up.
It gets more interesting, but yeah, like that game is just so poorly paced.
It's poorly paced. It's when you're the major points are the chapters, and in between the chapters you get cases to solve, and once you solve those cases you move on to the next story point. But it doesn't really explain that that's how that works. At any point you just kind of understand it that way. The dungeons are weird because there's, I don't know how to pronounce it, Kowloon, which is more of a common hacker place where story beats and sort of more common cases will occur, and then there are custom dungeons where only story beats occur. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this game, and as a guy who likes Digimon, who grew up with it, I think it's fun and interesting, and was an easy buy. As soon as I saw John playing it on our Ride the Rails, I was like, I'm gonna get this. Mm-hmm. But now that I'm into it, I'm still enjoying it. But I don't think I had like a moment when I was running around with my team at the time, and I had like a Digimon from like the anime, and then I had one that I knew from the cards, and I had one that I vaguely knew from, I don't even know from where. And I just remember like having like this moment, like out of body moment of like not recognizing any of my Digimon, and I was just like, man, that's what it feels like for someone who has no fucking clue who any of these things are.
Yeah, absolutely.
Of just like, there are these 3 grotesque monsters. There's a snake with a horn. There's a dude who is just a head, arms, and legs. He has no body and has a weird-looking beard. And then there's a bear. And then that's your team. Like, for someone who has no knowledge or even some knowledge of Digimon, this is a game you probably can't even play. Because I don't think you could. I don't think you could derive some of the fun out of it. Because even the Digivolutions are blind. So when you go to the Digilab, which is the only place you can evolve or devolve, you can devolve and re-choose and re-roll things. It's the only place where you can evolve your Digimon. They're not blank, but they're just a dark outline. Mm-hmm. And some of the outlines are very similar because, like John mentioned, there can be War Greymon, and then there can be Black War Greymon. There's the poop one, there's the slime one, and then there's the gold slime one. And their portraits look very similar. And until you see that Digimon, you won't know what you are choosing. So until you either digivolve it to it, or until you see it in a battle, you won't know what that Digimon is. So
Sure.
if you're going for 100%, yeah, you're gonna get them all. But it's the blind, and some of them are just like maybe my nostalgia for not wanting to choose the slimes because they're fucking everywhere. I want to avoid those as much as possible. But the blind, what were you gonna say? Because I think the blind stuff just kind of takes the.
Well, I wasn't going to go so much with like the blind stuff, but I think what you were saying in terms of like design and things like that, like it's the same thing with Pokemon. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, obviously a big draw of this game is the Digimon fandom, and it's pretty unlikely that anybody who isn't already into Digimon would play this game. But I think that saying the designs would be off-putting to people who aren't familiar is a little, like, not true, I guess. I'm sure there's a better way to say that, because, like, if I was, like, interested in it, I wouldn't see, like, oh, this design's way too weird, and I don't know about this.
Sure.
And the blind thing is kind of like if somebody was like same example, if someone was playing Pokemon for the first time, like they wouldn't know what all this stuff evolves into. Like,
But in Pokemon, you don't have a choice. Like you cannot evolve something, but it's just going to evolve, and you almost never. You do have some choices, and I think Pokemon is a little more. I think the design is a little more friendly.
Sure.
And the game design is a little more simpler. Whereas this, I don't think I could hand this to someone who maybe has never really gotten into JRPGs, or it's been a while, without like another drive. Like, oh, I also love Digimon.
Yeah.
I couldn't really recommend this widely. I see what you're saying. Like,
Yeah.
I probably am being a little too harsh, but I just had like, it was just that moment of like, that guy is butt ugly. I don't want him on my team anymore.
Yeah,
Like,
I do kind of agree with you, but I think that's kind of like a risk you run with like any like monster collection kind of thing. Like there's always going to be stuff that's like ugh. But
Yeah.
I think with Digimon especially, so much of the audience for that, like I said, is going to depend on people who are already familiar with like the property. So the chances of somebody coming into this totally blind are pretty slim, I think. But it could happen. I
agree. Like, the sales of this depend on people's nostalgia and knowledge of it. It's just a shame that, again, I was telling John this, like, this is, and I think you agreed with me, this was the best Digimon game.
Absolutely. There's nothing that is anywhere near as good.
Yeah, and that's kind of a shame because, like, almost any Pokemon game, especially some of the more recent entries, you could give to somebody who's never touched it. And it's like, well, have you seen the anime of Digimon? Do you know anything about it? And you probably shouldn't. Like, it's a shame that this isn't letting new people in to access this game. Like, that's kind of a shame to me. As a game as a whole, if a random friend or a random person off the street were to come up to me and say, "Do you recommend this?" I would have like a lot of caveats.
Yeah, absolutely.
Whereas,
I don't think that's like that. Like, I don't know. There's a point where that shouldn't have to be a knock against a game. Like, I feel like there's plenty of really great games that have a lot of caveats to them. We have to be like,
but the ones I'm talking
sure?
about are like, this game is kind of odd. There's a lot of text to get through that doesn't have great tutorials. You're gonna be choosing monsters at random, and until you find ones that you like, and it kind of rewards people who already have some Digimon knowledge. The game can be like suddenly difficult.
Yeah,
like,
and I mean,
and there's no checkpoints. So if you haven't saved in an hour and a half, and you run into a boss battle that it kills all your Digimon suddenly, you go back an hour and a half.
I mean, I feel like they choreograph boss fights pretty easily. Like, there's always, right before a boss fight, there's always one of those things to the Digilab, and you can usually see the boss sitting there. I've never been caught off guard by a boss fight.
There is one I'm at right now where when you go back, what do you do? Oh, it tells you to go to a new area, and instead of it being a new area, it's just a boss fight. As soon as you go to the new area, it's like, oh, it's a boss fight. And that caught me off guard when I first went to it. It didn't help that all my Digimon were the same type. So, and all of those were ineffective. So I was just like, oh, well, I'm going to wipe. So that didn't help. But again, like, I don't hate this game. I probably would not say that. I would say most people would not like it after a while. I think some people would enjoy it, but
Sure.
I can't imagine most people are going to sit down and be like, "Let's play an 80-hour text-heavy Digimon game." I can't see that.
Yeah, I mean, if you fall into like that, I guess that like Venn diagram of Digimon fan and like RPG fan, then
I get it. There's no reason not to.
Yeah,
Like,
it's perfect for that person.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I haven't played this, but from everything I've heard, like, that's the kind of people who would enjoy this game. And so, I mean, there's definitely a strong audience for it, I think, or at least an audience who will enjoy it strongly. But I guess it just depends on, that kind of thing. And what I was and this is kind of going off, but what I was going to say is, there's, and since I'm kind of an expert on this subject, there's plenty of licensed games out there that you can get into without having like a previous knowledge of the property. Like there's plenty, but from everything I can tell from this game, like Michael said, like it definitely rewards you for having a prior knowledge of Digimon. And the way I think about this is that you can have a game like that, like you can have like a Digimon game, obviously, but at the same time, it should appeal to people who are both longtime fans and maybe even completely new to the intellectual property as a whole. And I mentioned that that's kind of a rare thing, but I think that's a hallmark of good licensed games like that, that there's stuff that will, like I said, appeal to both kinds of players. And from what I can tell from what y'all are saying, this is mostly a game for people who have been involved with Digimon for quite some time, who are relative fans of the series. So, like, it's not something that someone's going to see on the shelf and be like, "Oh, I've heard about Digimon. It seems kind of cool," and like pick it up and enjoy. But I don't know. That's my 2 bit my 2 bits on a game I've never actually played.
Welcome to the Games Press.
Yeah. So take it how you will.
Yeah, I mean, I still like it. I still am having fun with it. I'm going to keep playing it.
But... Oh, good. I'm glad both of y'all have enjoyed it. So,
yeah, I still think it's a good game.
Yeah,
So yeah, Michael, did you play anything else recently, or is anything else up with you?
I got that Star Wars Humble Bundle.
Nice.
Oh, did you play anything in that?
I tried to play the Age of Empires Star Wars game, which I can't remember the name of. That wouldn't run. So,
okay.
I tried to play TIE Fighter, the Special Edition. That wouldn't run.
Oof.
Okay.
So I played the DOS edition. That ran.
Oh, man.
Yeah, and then as soon as I played, my mouse was inverted, so I crashed into something within like 5 minutes. I was like, all right, I will come back to this another day.
Yeah.
Sure.
But yeah, I hadn't played... I think I played X-Wing. I don't think I ever played TIE Fighter. I don't think I ever played Rebellion, so I like big gap in my Star Wars gaming knowledge.
Sure.
So I'd like to go back and play those flight simulators. Those seem fun.
Okay.
And since they're so early, they're not as complex as like current flight simulators. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
that's been about it. I don't think I've played much of anything else.
Okay.
Yeah.
Been a nice chill week. Well, I mean, it's been chill.
It's been busy.
Except for in the news.
It's been busy.
It has been busy.
I've been busy. It's actually a lull right now in releases.
Mm-hmm.
March is somehow dry after January and February.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I've been itching to buy a bunch of stuff. Like, I still need to pick up Super Hot.
It seems like there's a lot
Super
of smaller stuff that's come out that's worthwhile right now.
Yeah.
Division's coming out in a couple days, guys.
Yeah, real small stuff like The Division.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Well, I mean in the last couple of weeks, like not.
No, you're right. Like Super Hot, Firewatch, all that stuff just came out.
Yeah.
That'll be something. I think those will be games that when there's nothing out that week, I will pick them up and then burn through them and just to say like, I got through this.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm probably gonna buy Super Hot in like a day or two because I feel like someone on this site needs to play through that game.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna pick it up eventually, so not anytime soon though.
Okay. Ryan, what have you been playing though?
Well, I got Space Jack today, which I still haven't actually played, but that is a sort of tower defense kind of game. I'm going to bite into that this weekend, or I guess by the time this podcast comes out, it'll be by a couple days ago, so maybe by the time this comes up, you'll see something about Space Jack. I picked up Devil Daggers, finally, and
Nice.
It's a great game. That may be something I want to stream at some point. Maybe do like a kind of compilation roguelike stream and play just a couple games like that at once. But
what's your best time?
Not very long, like 50 seconds or so.
Sure. I still haven't beaten 80 from the video,
Yeah.
so
Yeah, I haven't been playing it a whole lot because I've been busy, but this isn't really worth having a conversation about, but I kept plugging away at Kingdom Hearts a little bit. Fallout 4, which is still in perpetuity as to whether or not I'm going to finish it or not. Or I guess I should say as to how close I am to finishing it, because I have no idea. And that's about it. I played a little bit more of Punch Club, and that game is alright. I'm not quite enjoying it as much as I thought I would. Now that I've played it in a little more detail, I can actually kind of talk about it a bit. But Punch Club, which I briefly touched on last week, it's like this fighting, boxing simulator management tycoon thing where you are playing as a boxer, and you have to box people, obviously.
are you the boxer or the manager?
You physically control the boxer. I mean,
Okay.
you manage him, but you direct
You are
him.
control. Yeah.
Yeah. You click on the screen where you want him to walk and that kind of thing.
All right. You're a really adamant manager.
Yeah. But I think his manager's name is Frank. Or like, what happens is the story is that this kid's dad is a boxer, and then the dad gets killed in a deal gone wrong, kind of like the beginning of Daredevil.
Right. Yeah,
And
I
then
remember this.
And then this guy named Frank is like, "Hey kid, you've got potential. I'm gonna take you in." And then it starts with you waking up on Frank's couch, and he's like, "Hey, find a job." And so you go out
Wow.
to you go out to, he's like, "I'm tired, like, you've got to stop lazing around on the couch, like, make something of yourself." Like, it's not, like, as harsh as I'm making it sound. But,
Yeah.
and you go out to, like, do your job, and you get mugged by a couple people. And then the guy, okay, so the Frank guy is a friend of your dad, and he takes you in, but then the guy who sees your potential, like, you get in an altercation with these muggers, and this guy's like, "Hey, I'm a fight promoter. You've got guts, kid. Like, come by my place later." And then you, like, go on this whole thing, and basically what it is it's this constant juggle between all of your statistics, how much money you have, how much time you have in the game, because everything goes on a day system. And it's really fun at first, but it gets to be a little bit of a slog after a while.
Is it essentially Boogie Nights but for boxers?
Are you talking about the movie?
The movie
game?
Boogie Nights.
Sure, yeah. Basically.
Yeah, he finds a young kid and he says, "You got the stuff."
Yeah, but
Except for he's totally
in
not
this
boxing.
case, in this case, the stuff isn't a giant dick. But anyway, so you've got like all these statistics you have to manage at all times. You've got like your health, how tired you are, how happy you are, how much like energy you have, and then plus the stats that determine your boxing moves, which is like strength, agility, and something else. I'll say quickness or like spryness or so. No, it's like strength, stamina, and agility, I think, are the three stats. And you go to like the gym, you like build up your stats, and you box people, and you can't like physically play the game when you're boxing. All you do is every round you pick which attacks you want to do, and they'll like do those attacks. And so who wins is always kind of a toss up, which is really interesting, I think. But part of the thing that kind of got me about it is that your three stats that you build up, the strength, agility, and stamina, will like degrade every day. So like at the end of every day, if you're at like level 2 on stamina, and if you didn't have time to like train your stamina, then it drops and you have to build it back up again to the next level. And like I guess that isn't too big of a deal because it's like such a hardcore management thing. but after a while, it gets really difficult to try to have enough money to get into the gym to train, but also like have food and energy and have the time to sleep, and then also manage your skills so they don't degrade over time, and then going into the the matches to get points to level up your attacks and things like that. And I guess my point is that at a point in this game, it gets to be incredibly overwhelming, and not the kind of like management juggle that I normally look for in those kinds of games. Like I said, it just kind of gets to be a slog at a point.
It almost sounds like the beginning of cart life, that like sort of panic you have when you're like, oh, I'm not 100% sure how this game plays. There's a lot being thrown at me.
Yeah,
but at least cart life, it was intended to feel that way.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, it's pretty easy to figure it out, but maybe not everyone does this when they play it, but I kind of go into like a panic at a point where I'm like, oh my god, there's no way I can like train these skills high enough for like the next match, but I have to, but then I run out of food, so I have to go spend money to get more food, but then I don't have the money to get the food, so I have to go do my job to get the money to get the food, but if I do my job to get the money to get the food, then my stats degrade even more, and it's like this whole tower of bullshit that just like keeps piling itself up and up and up. And I don't want to say it's a bad game, because it's not like an inherently bad game. It's just not the kind of management game that I tend to enjoy. Like I said, I was really enjoying it for the first bit, but then I wouldn't say you hit like a wall, but you do hit a point where you start like just stressing out over what kind of stuff you've got to do, and it almost becomes like a grind. But
sure,
I don't know. I'm not going to not recommend it. I think if anyone's interested in it, they should look it up and decide for themselves. But I do think it is something that I may try to go back to and play a little bit again now that I've kind of cooled off on it, because I did play quite a bit of it in one sitting, so maybe that's part of it.
So would you say it's just more overwhelming, that there's just so much that you kind of have to do?
Yeah, for me at least. I mean,
Yeah.
Some people might not feel that way, but for me, I constantly felt like I was doing... here's what the problem is. I constantly felt like I was doing something wrong while playing this game. Because I constantly thought, is it a good idea to do this? Or should I be doing this? Or which stats should I be bulking up? Or should I be focusing on this, or this? And there's a point in management games where it's like, okay, like, I've kind of gotten how to juggle all this down, and sure, it's like stressful, but I can handle it. But that's what got me about this game, the fact that I constantly felt like I was doing something incorrectly. So, I don't know, take that how you will.
Yeah, usually games like that, at some point, you start to get you should feel like you get a grasp of the systems, and that one, it just sounds like it feels like it all slips through your fingers.
It kind of.
Yeah.
I think if I was more into it, then I'd be, more into it. And I do like it. I do like the way it looks. I like the concept a lot. But that's just something I'll have to go back to later and see if my opinion has changed on it now that I've had a little bit of time away from it, I guess.
Yeah.
But
I have a lot of games that I have where I'll download them or I own them, and it's just like I'll look at the Steam clock and it's like 15 minutes because I've played it twice for 7 minutes, and at 7 minutes I go, oh shit, and I just stop it.
Yeah,
it's like, all right, I'm done with that.
I don't know if I mentioned this on the podcast last week, but I have that simulator game Evil Genius on my computer.
Yeah, I think you mentioned it.
Yeah, and I saw I'd played like an hour and a half of it, and I'm like, I don't remember playing any of this. Mm-hmm. And I started again. I'm like, oh, now I remember why I don't remember playing any of this.
Oh, but, I'm getting an ulcer. All right. Then.
Yeah, pretty much. But that's been more or less my week. Been busy as always with school stuff, but once again, Devil Daggers, highly recommend it. Punch Club, if it sounds like your kind of thing, look into it a bit more. I wish I could be a little more coherent about it, about my opinions, but people might like it, people might not like it. It'll just depend. So that's pretty much that.
Thank you for your input, Ryan, on
yeah, absolutely.
Punch Club. Yes. Did you play anything else, or you're all done?
That's pretty much it. I haven't had a lot of time to play anything else this week, but I've got some space this weekend, so maybe I'll knock some stuff out.
Cool. I've been kind of prepping to move recently,
Uh-huh.
so I haven't had a lot of time to myself. But I ordered a copy of Revengeance for myself a couple weeks ago. So it was $5 on Walmart, and Walmart.com rather, and I was just like,
Oh, a lovely
why not?
website like Walmart.com.
Yes, Walmart.com. But it finally showed up in, like, I did the in-store pickup thing, whatever.
Yeah.
And I finally popped it in, and I'm good at that game.
Yeah.
When I first played that game, I had trouble with it, I will admit. But replaying it now, knowing how to do all the cool moves and stuff, I'm S-ranking shit without even trying, and I'm just like, oh, fuck yeah, here we go.
Nice.
It's great.
Good.
I love that game to bits.
It's a really good
incredible.
game. I like that game a lot too, but it's been a while since I've played it. And that's a game that I'd like to replay, so...
I don't know if I'm going to replay the whole thing, because, like I just said, I'm probably going to play Super Hot real soon. But it was nice to dip my toes back in there, and it's a game that I'm glad to have back in my collection, That's something that I'm going to want to pop in here and there and just revisit, because it's that good.
Absolutely.
But yeah, otherwise, that's all I've been able to really play. Let's move on to news, gentlemen.
There's a lot of it.
Yeah.
Yes, there is. Yes, there is.
Speaking of busy weeks.
Yeah, that was the busy week was about the news. Michael, you had a busy week writing up all that news.
And boy, my arm's tired. Thanks, everybody. Thanks.
See you next week.
Yep.
Now, Michael, would you like to share some of the news that you shared with the world already?
The world. Yeah, sure. Which one do you want to... Let's do with the Dota story. Because I feel
all right.
Let's get that sweet video game drama going.
Yeah, there was some drama with Dota.
Isn't there always?
Yeah. Luckily, this has very little to do with the actual game. So Dota has majors, which I'm sure you've heard of the International, which is sort of their Super Bowl, their World Series.
Yeah, the big game.
Their sports analogy, yeah. It is in... They have changed the way that they do it. Before, the International, I think, was sort of invite only, and they just invite the top tier teams and battle it out in a bracket. I'm going to say this right now. I'm going to get a lot of this wrong because on the site I'm the Dota expert, which means we don't know a lot about Dota. All right. So recently, I think after last year's International, they decided to start having majors, which were kind of like how fighting games work, where they have a series of smaller events compared to the big event at the end of the year. But the smaller events can help you qualify for that big event at the very end. Sure. And much like fighting games, Valve puts on the International, but they don't put on every major. Instead, they sort of franchise it out. So
outsource.
They own the game. They deal with the results, and they may even deal with the officiating, but they don't run the event. So that's how Dota works. And then they had Dota 2 Major in Shanghai. And then everything hit the fucking fan.
Oh boy, yeah. What happened here?
So we'll start with just the production company, because the other part's juicier. So the production company, whose name escapes me, and who was putting the entire thing on, did a piss poor job. We're talking. There's all kinds of video out there if you want to go hunt it down. I haven't updated my story on here because I didn't find that I couldn't really keep track of all of it because it was happening on people's Instagrams and Twitters and subreddits, and it's a lot to go look up. Snapchats, but they were doing things like losing players' keyboards before matches, fire alarms going off. At some point, there was a curfew, so there were a few matches that happened in front of no audiences.
Yeah, because they had to They had to close the stadium at 10.
Yep.
But
So
the matches went longer because they lost the keyboard. So,
and they still didn't find that man's keyboard.
oh my God.
There was a video of the VIP room, and when I saw it, they had added some nice comfy chairs. It was maybe 6 chairs and looked like a makeup desk, like a makeup little thing. That was it, in what looked like a tiny, like a little tiny room. There were mics that wouldn't be turned on. There were actual production of the show problems. There was a lot of dead air. There was a lot of delays, which some of this happens. Some of this, there's always delays. There's sometimes some client issues and internet issues at big events like this, just because a lot of convention centers, even to this day, aren't equipped to handle internet stuff like that.
Yeah.
So all of that happened, and that sets up, and eventually that production team was fired. They were completely let go. It sounds like Valve, to say that Valve is unhappy with that production, it puts it mildly.
Yes. Oh, yes.
But all of that took a backseat to James, I believe it's pronounced Too Good, 2GD Harding, who I think is a former player and is a current caster. I hate that fucking term. He's a host. He's helped host the International before. He's helped host other esports events, other Dota events. He is a known personality within Dota, within esports.
Sure.
He was chosen to be the host of the Shanghai Major. And after, I think it was the second day's first segment, he was fired.
Yep.
He was just pulled off of stream.
He had just finished the segment. He had, as he puts it, now this is what he says. As he puts it, he was walking off stream, walking off the set, and a friend of his who works at Valve's, who was excited to have him there, rushed up to him and said, "You're fired." He left. Yeah, I think he stayed in Shanghai for a few more days and then eventually left.
Yeah.
So this kind of happened very suddenly. James tweeted about it, said, "Yes, I was let go. It was Valve's decision." And then the community just started speculating. The show went on. There was different hosts, but the community really started speculating, and they weren't sure what was happening.
Yeah.
And then, of course, when you're a big company like Valve, who else do you choose to go out there? You choose your PR man himself, the fucking CEO, Gabe Newell. Goes on Dota 2's subreddit, which is the source of all wonderful communities.
Absolutely.
And essentially, you can go read his post. It's out there. He says that they had problems with James before, that he was fired because of some of those problems, and that he calls him an ass.
Yep.
And that's one bullet point. The next bullet point, he says, "Oh, and the production team is fired." There's a great photo I put in my piece of the production meeting the next morning, and it's just a bunch of empty chairs. Where this gets really juicy is sort of after a day or two of people losing their goddamn minds, because I don't know what you guys think of it at this point, but I don't think Gabe Newell should come out and call anyone an ass. He's the CEO.
No.
It's his right to do that, I guess. But unless James was outright showing his ass on the stream, it really doesn't seem like almost anything he could have done would have warranted that.
Yeah. Well,
that seemed more like a press release. Like James was like, "Oh, we wish him well in his future endeavors." Take a note from the WWE.
Yeah, here's how I have interpreted this situation, and that is that it has been majorly bungled by people on both sides.
Yes, because
first of all, from what I understand of what's his face,
Dota.
James Dota
Harding.
James.
Well, before you go into it, let me finish why he was fired and his response, and then you guys can kind of tell me what you think.
Yeah.
So I've talked to a friend of mine who is more into Dota, and he essentially says that James has always had similar attitude to the reasons he was fired. he has posted a 17-page Google Doc that goes into his trip, how he was hired. He posted some screenshots from Skype, from IceFrog, the guy who made the original Dota mod and helps work on Dota 2. How he was told to be himself by IceFrog, and like he clearly his hiring was not handled by one person at Valve. He gets multiple viewpoints and told multiple things from multiple people. So he thought he was specifically told by IceFrog. Granted, it was more of a casual conversation. Just be yourself, which could be like, just relax, dude.
Yeah.
And he was very much himself. In my piece,
Yes.
I post a nice little kind of what happened on day one. Some of the terrible things. Some of it's production related. Some of it's him related.
Yes.
I'll give you two. I'll give you a couple examples.
Okay, well, this is what I was going to kind of talk about, so you go ahead.
Yeah.
And I'll...
His first thing said on air was that he was almost inadequately prepared because his Chinese hotel room didn't have porn, because he jacks off before every host job.
I mean, who doesn't?
Sure. Maybe making fun of Chinese censorship in China, also making a whack-off joke, not ideal. He goes on to, this is how he put it. This is his quote.
Yeah.
For the record, the bottom bitch joke was about Wagga/Singh, personal friends of mine who have both contacted me for support. So for me, it wasn't out of place. I haven't seen the joke. He makes a bottom bitch joke about two players. This is not the only thing he does in his hosting job that makes fun of players. He puts down as cons for some of the teams, some of their players, and he does it repeatedly. He actually at one point says an entire team, except for one player, is bad. He does it by putting it down in their con list. He doesn't adequately prepare, and he admits this, that he did not prepare and learn what's called the meta, the ins and out of the game, well, that he thought he could learn it on the fly, again, his words, on the fly, from the panel. And he had a whiteboard out, which really did not help give the image that the production was well thought out or well prepared. So he busted out a whiteboard and would make pro and con lists. He argues that he was trying to make it accessible for more or less experienced players as well as experienced players. I get that as someone who has played quite a bit of Dota but isn't experienced at all. And I actually kind of saw, reading some of it and looking at or rewatching some of it, I appreciated it, but at the same time, none of it was professional. And so that seems to be why he was fired. But going into what you were saying, Ryan,
Yeah. So, first of all, there's literally everything you just said. On his on his side of the thing, as in what he bungled, is like you said. Okay, so
he was unprofessional.
Yeah,
100%.
Okay. So I, for those of you who don't know, I host. I'm a college student. I host a radio show on our radio station here at the university, which is FCC licensed. And the fact that this guy went up to host a tournament, a video game tournament that's being broadcast to people, and thought he could be as unprofessional enough to make masturbation jokes, like you said, make fun of teams. I heard he dropped the C word a few times, or at least once.
I didn't see that, but to be fair, I think he's British, so that's not, to them, that's not.
Regardless, his everything I've heard about his demeanor, which at least just going off what you've said, which we know to be true, is just so horrendously, atrociously unprofessional in just every sense of the word, and it frankly,
to be fair,
it disgusts me.
To be fair,
honestly.
to play devil's advocate, this is what he is known for. This is who he is. This is how he has always acted on every other stream, including Valve-sponsored streams in the past. maybe not this bad. Once I started watching the footage, I recognized him, and I remembered him being a little goofy and a little off color before.
Oh yeah, there's a difference between that.
And to be fair, also to him, and this is what I've heard from people who don't like him, including my friend who I tried to get to write an editorial. I should contact him to see if he'll still do it. He's busy. But even to him, everyone he has heard who knows James Harding, says he is nice, he is professional he is absolutely professional off camera, that he is nice and caring, and he works really hard.
All right,
so
fair enough.
it is not like he shows up like Fletch and just everything works. But you are correct that
there is a difference between acting that way off camera and the things that he does on camera, because what he's doing off camera is not being broadcast to a huge audience of people. What he's doing on camera is, and I
think what's happening here is Valve at some point realized there's some money in this esports, but the money is called sponsorship. And those sponsorships, when they get more professional, more corporate, and more money, don't want jack-off jokes within the first 5 minutes.
Yes, absolutely. I'll just wrap my piece up on this up real quick. Like, say what you will about him. Like, okay, maybe he is a little off color. Maybe he's unprofessional. Whatever. I personally, from what I hear, it really irks me. But that's just a personal thing.
Sure.
But on the other side of this, the way, I'm not saying Valve wasn't justified in firing him, but the way they handled it was atrocious. Was absolutely inexcusable.
Yeah, to not have a press release within 30 minutes of his firing, or even on Twitter, just say James Harding was let go. We hope him well in the future and to work with him in the future. First
of all, to not have a press release. Second of all, to have someone this guy knows tell him secondhand that he's been fired, and then
the guy who he knew, to my knowledge, worked at Valve. He's a software engineer at Valve, and was his point of contact for Valve.
All right,
I believe.
Okay. Fair enough. I rescind that statement. But to announce this through Gabe Newell on Reddit, which is then simultaneously announced with the fact that they fired the whole production team, is just as, if not more, unprofessional than the way this guy acted on camera, in my opinion.
Well, I'm not 100% sure if that's if that's how they initially announced it, or I think that's how everyone learned for sure that he was fired.
Exactly.
And Valve did it. I don't know. I assume the production team had already been told as well.
The point is that they didn't do a press release. They had Gabe Newell comment on a forum about it.
Yeah.
That's both. I think there's like I said, there's behavior on both sides of this that's just inexcusable, and what it just adds up to is a massive, like I said, bungle. I'll refrain from cursing after I just berated
it's a clusterfuck. It's a clusterfuck.
That's exactly what it is.
And it's two larger issues to me. It's clearly, like I say in my piece, it's miscommunications and misunderstandings.
Yeah,
he was not communicated clearly enough what they wanted from him and what the show should be about, and they did not correctly communicate with their community or with him, and he vice versa. Even his if you go read his Google Doc, it's very one-sided.
Yeah.
It's interesting read. He goes into all kinds of stuff, like other Valve employees he says doesn't like him. He makes other claims about other TIs and how he was paid and how other people were paid, some of which has been disputed by Valve. It goes real deep. But to me, it reveals that Valve has a real big PR problem, and if they want to be big boy sports guys, they need to fix it, because I don't know a lot about League of Legends, certainly not as much as I know about Dota, which again isn't a lot, but Riot is a lot better at handling this stuff. And I think the second thing this reveals is that esports, this is hopefully a turning point where esports grows up, because his little off-color jokes aside, let's put those aside, his whiteboard stuff, that's not that crazy. Putting down specific players, well, if he knows them, that's fine. I don't care. It's if he makes a joke that this player sucks, as long as he's not saying it's the worst player in the world. That happens in ESPN all the time. ESPN is just as, I guess, trashy. ESPN's worse because they're supposed to be real professionals.
Sure.
What the line should be is like, the line for me in his unprofessionalism was when he would have guests on their little couch and the guest would say something or would clearly is not fitting in, and he would not try to welcome them. He would like stare at him and like make him feel real like it was really uncomfortable and really awkward, as like, I don't know if his like gears were trying to turn. James's gears were like trying to figure out like, what do I say that's funny? That stuff got me more of anything of like, oh, this is just an awkward stream.
Sure.
This is like just bad.
Mm-hmm.
It's stuff like that. It's that and the off-color jokes that really, 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 really are just don't fit. Like, you can be relaxed. And I think I said this in one of the Giant Bomb forums. Like, there are in television broadcasts, there is your play-by-play guy, in sports anyways. There's play-by-play, and then there's your color man.
Mm-hmm.
He was a color man who was trying to be the host, and it didn't work. He should have been next to the guy who is doing throws, who is bringing an intro. Like, he was not the personality for that job.
Sure, yeah.
And Valve needs to figure out who goes where, and they are going to have to learn the ins and outs of broadcasting really, really quick.
Yes, absolutely.
And they don't seem to know it.
I'm sure some of my ire on this is just me being brought up as interpreting broadcast as professionally as I normally do, and
it's a little more relaxed on Twitch.
Yeah, there's definitely different standards, but irregardless, especially from Valve's standpoint, they could have been so much better with the way they handled this, and they're
always poor.
Yeah, they're one of like the video game companies. I mean, obviously, and the fact that Gabe Newell, he's kind of that same way. He has, as far as I know, he has this reputation of being very casual in like the way he interacts with like Valve fans and that kind of thing. But my God, that is such a misstep to have him go on Reddit of all places and say, "Hey, this guy's an ass. Also, we fired the production team." Like,
that's not how you do it. But we should move on.
It's been a while. Let's move on.
I didn't think we'd talk about that as much as we do.
You had an opinion, man.
I just didn't stop y'all because you were fired up. This is good talk. Good talk.
Yeah.
Michael,
do the other one?
Yeah. Do you have another? Well, what was it? I forget what it was.
No Man's Sky.
Oh yeah.
Well, now I have to.
Yeah, I mean, you can mention it really quick. It's not anything too major,
No.
No Man's Sky is coming out, and hey, guess what? When they said June, they meant June.
Yeah. June 21st.
June 21st.
Yes, I was right.
For both PS4 and PC. I haven't really looked around, but no word on PS4 VR. I assume day and date with whenever that stuff comes out.
Sure.
Weren't we supposed to get information on that like real soon? Anyways, that was supposed to launch in spring, so they have a couple months, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
$60.
Yep, not surprising.
Nope.
No.
It surprised a lot of people, though.
It shouldn't. I mean, that's a game where people are like, with the scope of that game, there's no way it wasn't going to be $60. And this has probably been said before, but people's expectations as to what the substantiality of the content was going to be versus the price, I think, are very skewed. So
I think it's just indie games have been so cheap for so long.
Yeah.
That the idea, and even the word indie is so like
quaint.
Bungie is indie. They're an independent company. Mm-hmm. They have an exclusive publishing deal with the biggest independent publisher there is, but they're indie.
Yes.
So like that term is so
useless.
Yeah, because I mean, Hello Games has I assume some sort of deal with PS4 with Sony. So does that make them indie anymore? It's not. I mean, it's just probably very similar to Capcom and Street Fighter, but we wouldn't call us Capcom independent. Like, That's not an indie title, even though it came out like one. So I don't get where people, without even knowing a lot about the game, and considering how hyped and how excited people were about this game, to then be let down by the price. Like, I don't get that dichotomy, that sort of, boy, this game's going to be huge, it's going to be incredible, you can see a planet, you can go to it, you see another planet, you can go to it. Oh, I thought it was going to be $10, like $15, like $20. Like, what? No.
Yeah.
Like, how can it be big and cheap?
Like, I can understand the kind of sticker shock associated with like Oculus and like the HTC Vive and that kind of thing, because isn't like the HTC Vive with the controllers like $800?
With the controller and some other stuff, I believe. But yeah, $800.
Yeah, like that, I kind of get it. Like, sure, like, justified or not, like, I understand it, because I kind of feel the same way. But with, like, a game like No Man's Sky that's, like, that ambitious, like, come on. Please.
And it's the difference between being disappointed by the price and being disgusted by it. And the internet doesn't understand that kind of nuance. Yeah. But I there are plenty of pieces out. They did a big event a couple days ago. Though by the time you hear this, last week, and there are a lot of people who wrote up about it. There's some interviews out there with Sean Murray from Hello Games. I love listening to that guy talk, because that guy he's really thoughtful and is always so, like, I don't know. I love hearing him talk about his game.
Sure.
Because he gets so excited about it.
Good.
And reading through all that stuff, it sounds kind of what I thought it would be, like a lot, like emphasis on exploration and emphasis on upgrading. Both your ship, yourself, your suit, your weapons, your all kinds of stuff. So I'm excited for that game. So it sounds like post E3 we'll be chilling out in space.
Hell yeah! Let's all gather up our moon rocks,
moon shoes,
take a trip. Yeah, where's the Moon Shoes DLC? Hello Games.
Is that where it just makes you jump like an extra foot?
Yes.
That's what I was going to say.
But they cost like a lot of resources.
Yeah. Ryan, why don't we move on to your news?
Yeah.
What's going on in your neck of the woods, man?
Big things happening at a company you might have heard of, Microsoft.
Never heard of them.
No.
Are they indie?
They make the Xbox One.
Yeah.
Oh, the one Xbox.
Yeah.
The one Xbox they made, yes.
And as it seems, there may only be one Xbox from now until the end of time, because Microsoft is rolling out plans bit by bit, piece by piece, that would essentially, in the most simplest terms I can conjure out of my mouth hole, that would essentially unify the PC and the Xbox One over what they called a complete gaming ecosystem, which there's a couple things that this means. First of all, they want to start releasing games as something called Universal Windows Applications, which would allow developers to make them, and they could be played both on PC and Xbox One with little to no extra work. They're thinking about continually... Okay, so most of the time when you have a console, the software and the hardware of the console don't ever really change. I mean, there may be software updates.
Software does.
Yeah, there may be software updates, but that's about it.
Yeah.
What Microsoft wants to do is basically switch that. Have a software that's pretty unified, but release constantly new versions of the Xbox One with updated graphics hardware and processors, like how you get like new PCs every couple years.
New PCs or new phones or new tablets. Like that kind of ecosystem.
Yeah, absolutely. And so between the PC and the Xbox One, you would have this ever-expanding library of games that would apparently be both forwards and backwards compatible between the machines. You'd have the Xbox One that would be like the last Xbox, basically, if they did it the way I'm thinking that they're going to do it. Like, we just might see Xbox One V2 or Xbox One V3 or...
Xbox One Infinity 2.0.
Yeah, thanks.
There's a joke.
Mm-hmm. So there's really a lot going on here. There's a lot to unpack. Basically, what they want to do is bring the PC into the living room the same way Steam did with the Steam machine, except actually with the Xbox. I don't know. I think it's really exciting, the idea of these UWAs, the idea that, because apparently they're so easy to develop with, that a quote from what's his name, Phil Spencer.
Phil Spencer.
Yeah.
Yeah, that there are apparently more Xbox games being developed than ever before because of these. It's possible that in the future, if you buy like an Xbox One game, you'll also get the PC version, pretty much. Because
they're doing that with a Quantum Break.
Yeah,
where
and
if you buy one, you get and Killer Instinct.
Yeah,
Season
Killer
3.
Instinct Season 3 is that way.
Because what you're buying is not the Xbox or PC version, but the UWA, which then you can then install on both consoles, or the console and the PC. Their biggest problem with this, I think, is going to be convincing consumers and developers that it's not another games for Windows kind of thing, which was a disaster, which we are still feeling the reverb from even today. Like, I still don't think you can play Dark Souls online on the PC because it's still hooked up into games for Windows, which is defunct. They may have fixed that since the last time I checked, but
I think they did.
Yeah, that's going to be their biggest hurdle. Something else interesting, they have stopped checking or stopped reporting Xbox One sales figures, and they're instead focusing on MAU, which is the monthly active user data. People were accusing Phil Spencer that it's to hide how poorly the Xbox One is sold, but he debated that, saying that it doesn't matter how many they've sold. What matters is how many people are actually playing it and what games they're downloading and that kind of thing.
Which is, from a developer's point of view, is the more important thing.
Yes, absolutely.
Because the Xbox One is selling better than the Xbox 360 was the last time they released numbers.
Yeah.
So that is, it's already doing better than the 360, which is a lot better than the original Xbox. Mm-hmm. So what a developer wants to know is what is our potential to sell.
Yes.
But if you say, listen, we have this many engaged users, like we don't have 100 million people not using it or using it just for Netflix, you can say, no, this many people play this kind of, like, that is a better metric for people who develop games.
Yeah.
And I mean, for me, when I hear this when I think as a consumer, I'm just a little worried about forwards compatibility.
Yeah.
I'm worried of
I'm worried
games.
about backwards compatibility.
No, I mean, I'm not that scared about that because
which way are we talking about? Backwards would mean...
Let me
backwards means that you can play older games on newer consoles.
Okay,
forwards
that one I'm
means
not worried
that you
about.
can play newer games on older consoles.
Yeah.
I'm just worried about if games are going to be taking these huge strides. That's something that people that have PCs, that's something that they can wiggle around with, because once you have a PC, you have to upgrade certain parts, but you don't have to buy a completely new PC every time. But if you have to buy a completely new Xbox One once a good portion of 4K games or just way more powerful games come out, that could be a problem for your console person who just wants to buy one console and deal with it for 10 odd years.
Yeah.
The problem is that 10 years from now, or 10 years from the Xbox One and PS4 launch, consoles are going to be irrelevant. And they already are becoming very irrelevant.
I mean, you say that, but I mean, I don't know. I just feel like right now, hearing that Microsoft wants to start putting out new Xbox Ones and there might be exclusive, I don't know, just when that Quantum Break thing got announced, where the game came out on PC and people were like, "Oh man, why did I buy an Xbox One?" There's a point where there's not really a reason to buy an Xbox One now if all these things are coming to PC and
it's cheaper.
It's cheaper. It would be cheaper in the short run, which is why people want to buy Xbox Ones. Mm-hmm. But if you have to buy like I'm saying, if an Xbox One is $400-$500,
yeah,
and you have to buy a new one of those if there's a big jump in game design and game graphics. Mm-hmm. you can't just buy new parts for your Xbox One, but you can buy new parts for your PC, and that's $300 something. It's a bigger initial investment for a PC,
but that's
over time it'd be less.
That's assuming a lot of things that hasn't been confirmed. That's assuming that's assuming that the Xbox One you can't just buy a part like an expansion pack and plug it in.
I mean, that's just what I would be worried about, and that's what
assuming,
I would want Microsoft to answer.
Yeah, but that's also assuming that the next new Xbox One, whatever that is $400, $500. It could be $300. It could be cheaper. They could just take a bite of the hardware every time. A gaming PC has to be upgraded just as often as a console, maybe even more often, especially if you don't buy better parts. So, my PC, I've had it for a bit now, and it certainly needs to be upgraded. Well, it wasn't great to begin with, but like people have to upgrade their PC parts every, 5 to 6 years, sometimes a little longer. So it's not that big of a difference.
I would just want these worries to be answered. Like, that's what I'm
Sure.
saying. Like, as someone who doesn't have an Xbox One, I would want to know when a good time to get into an Xbox One would be, because I wouldn't want to drop that money and then the next version comes out like right afterwards, and I'm like, oh fuck. Like,
sure,
I don't know.
But I think to hit the panic button over this stuff is overreacting.
I'm not saying that, not at all.
Okay.
I just want to know. I would just want these questions answered.
Sure.
Before.
This was all announced at like a bigger game little show that they did in San Francisco.
Yeah.
So most of this information came from an exclusive interview with The Guardian. So I'm going to guess that around June we hear a lot more information about this stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, during E3, that would be a time to really make a decision about this kind of stuff, yeah. I think.
But this, I think, is better for consumers because the Xbox and PS4, when they launched, were already at best tied with PC development.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So to say to those consumers, guess what? You don't get anything better for another 10 years. And then also to say to game developers, don't go too far, too fast, or too quickly because you have to adhere to our hardware for the next 10 years.
Yeah.
Isn't fair, and
it's freeing. It's definitely a freeing experience, and it gives more
better
wiggle room to developers and consumers.
It's better for games, and what he was talking about specifically with backwards compatibility made 1,000 times sense. The idea that your PC right now, you could go buy Doom, you could go get Doom, and it runs fantastic, and you can probably get it like 3 or 4 different ways. And he was essentially equating that to the Xbox, where, you can go buy your old games, and they run just fine, because of course they would. And then you can buy the new games, and they look incredible. That kind of ecosystem where it's just like a PC is what I want. I'm tired of looking at my stack of games and going, well, I can't play that PS2 game because my PS4 doesn't play them. Mm-hmm. Or I can't play this GameCube game because the Wii U doesn't play them. That's kind of shitty. I get why. I totally get why, at least in the case of the Wii U. But it's kind of shitty. And it's built in, and it's anti-consumer. And
sure.
the way Phil Spencer talked about it, this seemed more in favor of the end consumer. And it's and it's really no different than phones. And people shell out fucking more than $500 for a new phone. So, it's essentially
I'm
how
definitely not one of those people. So that's
but
why
it does happen though.
It does happen. But I would just want to know a little bit more information before I'm completely on board. But the points that you make, the points that Phil Spencer is making, are good points.
Yeah,
this is at least an interesting step.
Yeah, I would to kind of wrap this up. I would definitely agree that. I would like to know more, but there is a lot of potential in these ideas.
Absolutely.
If they can pull this off the way I think that they are trying to pull it off, if that makes any sense, it could potentially be a literal game changer, especially in terms of...
It could end the way we think of consoles, and consoles have been sold this way since forever. Since the beginning of home gaming.
Yeah. Exactly. So
this is very different,
There you go.
All right. Ryan, do you have any other news articles you want to talk about?
I don't think so. Speaking of Microsoft, I will say they kind of detailed the dev kit HoloLens stuff, and there's not much else to say about that because in terms of consumer stuff, they still haven't announced anything. But it's going to have a new Conquer game on it, which is...
Young Conquer.
It's weird, but yeah, that's pretty much it.
At least we know what Rare's making that and a Pirates game.
Yeah, we should not... I don't want to talk about Young Conquer.
Okay.
It makes me upset.
Yeah,
let's get to Nintendo.
I don't even like Conquer. I don't want to talk about Conquer at all.
Then stop talking about them. Talk about Nintendo.
Okay. Alright, so yeah, there was a lot of Nintendo news. Holy shit.
Yep.
Should I start with the official Nintendo news, or should I start with the secret?
I'd start with the official and then move on to the juicy stuff.
Okay,
keep
so...
people listening.
Yeah, because the official stuff kind of confirms almost
some
of the secrets.
You're right. So there's a Nintendo Direct, the day that we recorded this.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a lot of information. It was almost an hour long. It was like 45 minutes long.
41 minutes.
Yeah, 41. And let me scan through here, just quick stuff. Yeah, Star Fox Zero is still coming out on April 22nd, which is a surprise because I was hearing a bunch of talk that game was going to get delayed. And it's coming with that Project Guard game that got announced at E3 like 2 or 3 years ago. That's now called Star Fox Guard.
It looks a lot like Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yeah, it's... I think Miyamoto saw Five Nights at Freddy's video and was just like, oh, holy shit, let's make this not scary. Splatoon is going to keep getting more content updates.
That's cool.
There's some more Mario Maker updates, like keys from Mario World.
Pink coins.
Mm-hmm. That Shin Megami Tensei Cross Fire Emblem game is coming out over here on June 24th, and it's called Tokyo Mirage Sessions #FE.
That game is not for me. That game is not for me.
No, that is the non.
No
I want it.
You want an Idolmaster RPG? That's what that looked like.
I mean, if it's fucking stupid and I can laugh at it, yeah. If it takes itself too seriously, I'll probably end up not liking it.
It's Cross Fire Emblem. It's going to take itself too seriously.
Alright, well, we'll see. That game that the Tekken people are working on, I think it was called like Project Treasure or something. It's called Lost Reavers. It's going to be an open beta on April 14th, and then it's going to actually be released on the 28th. There's a new Paper Mario game announced that looks like shit.
Yep. Poken's still coming. It looks pretty good.
Poken's gonna be cool.
It looks good. I don't know if it'll play good.
I'm kind of skipping over old info here. There's an amiibo only game finally.
Free to play.
Free to play called Mini Mario and Friends Amiibo Challenge.
It only uses 10 amiibos.
Yeah,
that's bullshit.
Yeah.
It also tells me that they maybe started developing it when there were maybe about 10 amiibos.
I mean, that was a long time ago, and the Smash Bros. Amiibos are the first ones, so I kind of doubt that.
I don't know, man. That's weird.
It's weird. I don't know. I think what they do is they looked at like which amiibos sold the best, and they were like, oh, everyone's buying the Mario ones. Let's make a Mario game. That's probably what it is.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. Okay, so here we're getting into like the actual news here. Super Nintendo games are coming to 3DS. For Virtual Console.
3DS.
New, yeah, specifically
only
the new Nintendo 3DS. And the first batch that are out now are Mario World, Pilot Wings, and F-Zero. There's going to be another batch on the 24th of March that's going to be Super Mario Kart, Earthbound, and Donkey Kong Country. And on April 14th, you'll get A Link to the Past, Super Metroid, and Donkey Kong Country 2. So that's neat.
Sure. Rebuy old games again.
I mean, I don't know. They need to fucking do cross-buy. Because I shouldn't have to... I want to play Earthbound on my 3DS, but I shouldn't have to rebuy that shit.
Yeah.
It's not that you shouldn't have to. You shouldn't.
I shouldn't.
Yeah.
I really shouldn't.
No.
Game Freak announced a new horse racing solitaire game called Pocket Card Jockey.
Pocket Card Jockey sounds like some online username on To Catch a Predator.
Yeah, it sounds like a fucking mess. I mean, the only way that they could have made that game more Japanese is if it had pachinko in it too.
Pachinko and mahjong, a little bit of soccer in the background.
Yeah. There's Azure Striker Gunvolt 2. They announced that a little while back. Hyrule Warriors Legends is going to have another batch of another season pass.
Wow.
So there's going to be another batch of DLC for that game with the 3DS version.
I'm glad they're giving it a lot of development, but I would feel weird if I had bought that game and then I just look at Splatoon, getting a bunch of free stuff, and it's I have to do what now to get a bonus costume?
I mean, I can understand why you would pay for characters, but yeah, there should be free. I mean, one of the characters is free. They're putting Medley or whatever her name is from Wind Waker.
I've never played Wind Waker, so I don't have attachment to those characters. Yo, Medley looks jacked, and I don't mean that in a good way. Like a bird, like some weird bird fur thing with a duck bill, and that thing looked like a Digimon I don't recognize.
I don't know. She's a fun character in Wind Waker.
People seem to like her on Twitter. I looked at that and was like, what?
Yeah,
all right then.
I don't know. Wind Waker's a very good game. Monster Hunter Generations is the next Monster Hunter game. It's going to be a 3DS game. There will be Fire Emblem DLC and some stuff to unlock if you already played Monster Hunter 4 on your 3DS. During the Direct, they tried really hard to defend Metroid Prime Federation Force.
That was pretty good.
I don't know. That game looks okay.
Yeah. I don't think it's going to be great, but I don't think it's going to be as bad as the people who are trying to revile it are making it out to be. So
I went from that game's not that bad. You guys shouldn't make petitions to the exact opposite of how you guys feel. Of oh, that game looks like trash. That game reminded me of the co-op Zelda game that came out earlier this year.
Nah.
Yeah, that's
I wouldn't go that far.
That's kind of the language they were using of your buddy needs to help you get across this. I was like, oh shit, no.
I don't know.
Jump on each other's shoulders and then you can do it too.
We'll see. I can see why you'd be worried, but I want to see it a little bit more before I say that.
For sure,
John's gonna see to believe.
Yeah, I would love a new first-person Metroid, but
yeah, we'll see.
Meh.
That Rhythm Heaven collection that came out a year ago in Japan is coming out over here.
Cool.
Called Rhythm Heaven Megamix. It just has a bunch of games from all the other Rhythm Heavens, from Game Boy Advance on.
That's cool.
So there's even games that we never got to play because the first Rhythm Heaven game that came out over here was the DS one.
So is that 3DS or Wii U?
That's 3DS.
Okay, I may get that. That'd be dope.
Yeah. And they also announced a new Kirby game called Kirby Planet Robobot, where the twist in this game is that Kirby has a mech. And the mech can also suck up copy abilities. That's
a pretty good twist.
It's really cool.
Yeah,
there's also a 4-player RPG mode that you can play through.
Apparently they're putting out amiibo for that too.
Yeah, there's also going to be Kirby amiibo. There's a Kirby, Meta Knight, DDD, and Waddle Dee amiibo. That game seems cool.
Yeah, maybe that means the original Kirby one will go cheaper and I can actually get it.
I hope so.
Yeah.
You just want me to get more amiibo.
I don't know.
Maybe the new Kirby one will be super cheap. Who knows?
It looks... Yeah, that one looked cool. He had him, riding the star.
Yeah, because amiibo these days, the non-Smash Bros. Amiibos are really easy to find. All those Animal Crossing amiibos, you can get those on Amazon for $5. Yeah.
I got my Tom Nook amiibo off Amazon for $4.98 or something like that. Mm-hmm. So...
Hopefully the Kirby amiibos are like that instead of the Smash Bros. Amiibos. Because, I love Kirby characters.
Move
on. Okay, I'm sorry.
We have a lot of Nintendo and we already ran long with Dota.
Yeah, you're right.
Let's not talk about amiibos. Fuck.
Okay, so another thing that... there was a very short Pokemon Direct, last week.
Right after we recorded.
Yeah. And they announced officially Pokemon Sun and Moon. We talked about that on the show a little bit.
Yeah, it was
that
already
got confirmed.
Rumored. Yeah.
But that kind of confirmed a bunch of
semi-confirmed.
Yeah.
Do you want to explain like how that confirms it? Sort of, maybe.
Yeah, there was Here, I'll just let me pull up this
There was a guy. I think it was Gino, but there was maybe another guy as well. Is this multiple people leaking stuff?
I think for sure Gino was involved, but I don't know about the rest.
Yeah, so there's at least one guy named Gino who has leaked before.
And he will leak again.
Yeah, you should see a doctor about that. There's who claims to have like inside information or something, and he leaked like a huge amount of information. And initially, the Pokemon names Sun and Moon, I think it was the Japanese names, kind of started to confirm some of his information.
Yeah,
and then this direct really confirmed a lot of the things he claimed were going to happen.
Yeah, like a bunch of the like games that he listed were going to get announced, got announced.
And so that indirectly, partially, maybe it's still a rumor, but wink wink, maybe not, confirms a lot of NX details, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, that the NX is most likely coming out this year, and that the Zelda game for the Wii U is also probably going to be on the NX.
I would still be really skeptical if it weren't for this Direct. And not because of the information in the Direct, because it specifically said summer of 2016, and they announced not a thing past like maybe September. I don't even think they went that late.
Like
not
even
summer.
not even past like June, July.
Yeah, they said one thing was like summer 2016, and another thing said later in 2016. And I know that really does set up an E3 where they announce stuff for the rest of the year. But I think last year they had one or two things announced for the end of the year before E3, and they just filled it in.
Yeah, like
this year there's just
Yoshi's
Zelda.
Woolly World and stuff.
Yeah, this year it's just Zelda. Like last year they announced like Amiibo, Party Festival, and like little things got announced, but there was already a schedule in place. This year
there isn't. Yeah.
There's Zelda. So,
and if that's going to be on NX, then there you go.
Yeah, but usually, even with Zelda, even with a cornerstone, you have something else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
I don't know.
This really leans towards sort of like, funny how our release schedule ends after June.
Yeah,
that's strange. Anyways, who wants to invest in us?
there was one other rumor, like a big, crazy rumor that just came out recently. Someone on Destructoid claimed that multiple sources say that Beyond Good and Evil 2 is going to be an NX title.
Mm-hmm. Funded by
Nintendo. Like Bayonetta 2 was.
Yeah.
Like, they're saying that, it's going to be called Beyond Good and Evil, The Prejudices of Philosophers. And it will come out in 2017.
I've never played Beyond Good and Evil, and I like that this is a very good sort of...
It's a goodwill measure. It's it's the same thing that Nintendo did with Bayonetta. Some people are probably going to get pissy that they're going to have to buy an NX for this game, but...
Well, all right. Well, welcome to owning video games.
Yeah, welcome to consoles, welcome to video games.
Welcome to video games the last 40 years, you fuck.
Yeah, and I'm not going to be worried about like the content Beyond Good and Evil, because Bayonetta 2 was completely... It was exactly what you'd expect from Bayonetta, and hell, she shows up in Smash Bros. So
my question is, will anyone buy this? Because no one bought the first one.
I think a lot more people will buy this game than they bought the first one, because there's been this groundswell. This has become like a game of legend, basically.
Yeah, it's a Last Guardian. It's like... if The Last Guardian had come out, I don't think a lot of people would bought it. Like, if it had just been showed off, released...
It's Psychonauts 2. It's people saying that the original was incredible and probably buying it on PC, or like they re-released Beyond Good and Evil on like PC and PS3 and all that stuff. So I'm sure that more people have played that game.
Have any of those long-awaited games, other than that one terrible one by 3D Realms, have any of them actually come out yet? Last Guardian hasn't.
No.
Well, it was at E3, but that's pretty much it.
Yeah, it hasn't come out yet, though. I'm trying to think of any of, like, the long-lost... I thought one had.
I'm thinking.
You mean one other one had?
Yeah, another one. Not
Not that one.
Not that.
no.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like you're right, but I can't really remember. Huh.
Yeah, because I want to say it did okay. Because I'm really starting to wonder if Psychonauts 2 comes out, like all these games.
Maybe the Wasteland sequel, Wasteland 2.
No, I'm definitely not thinking of that.
That
did not enter my brain. But like Shenmue is coming, a Final Fantasy VII remake is coming, like Psychonauts 2 is coming, Last Guardian is coming, and now this is supposedly coming. It makes me really wonder. There's all these like fanboys and people who really like those games. Will they buy it? That's my question. Is like, will you actually?
Also, for some reason, I was going to type in long-awaited video games, and the autocorrect made it long-awaited Olive Garden for some reason, so there you go.
I wonder why. When was the last time you went to the garden?
It's been far too long, so I guess that's just,
It's never too long, John.
No, it's never too soon to go back to the garden.
All right.
Oh, I guess that means I should report about my food stuff.
Oh, did you eat anything fucked up, Michael?
I almost ate apple soda.
Oh, you almost drank the apple soda?
Yeah, I went to a Taco Bell, and lo and fucking behold, above above the Mountain Dew Kickstart, which is what I got, was apple fucking soda.
Someday you'll try it.
I don't want to try it. I don't want to try it.
Take a little taste.
I would have.
Take a little sip.
I was gonna take a photo of it and send it to you, but there was a guy behind me, I think, muttering to himself. So I was like,
"Let's get out of there." Yeah. You need to kickstart your morning.
Yeah. This was towards the evening that
kickstart your evening.
Drank some Kickstart.
Kick end.
That's my apple soda update. Thanks.
Great.
Thank you,
Michael.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, but let's kick it back to Michael post apple soda.
Sup?
To talk about the questions of the week.
Mm-hmm. You can send questions to podcast@videogamechoochoo.com. That's an email, or you can go to videogamechoochoo.com. No, videojameschoochoo.tumblr.com/ask.
Thank you.
Yep. Either or, and your question will be read aloud a lot like this. Anonymous asks, if Kirby were to swallow you, what power would he get?
Anxiety.
Huh.
That's a good answer. Anxiety or murder from John, one or the other, depending on the day or hour.
Yeah, threats.
Yeah.
If he's been talking to any of us.
Empty threats would be a power that Kirby would get.
I don't know how empty they are.
I haven't done anything yet. So.
Yeah.
I stayed at Corky's house for like 3 months, and he didn't die. So.
There's like a booby trap in like his attic or something. You were just waiting, so it seems
in his apartment.
Less likely that he fucking that it's you.
Mm-hmm, sure.
What power would he get from me? Sarcasm.
Yeah,
that sounds about right. Yeah.
Really dry wit that most of the time only I get. Trying your best to not tell jokes that are really dirty or really dumb that only you will find funny because of how dry they are. That's me.
It's me almost.
Yeah, yelling at John about anime, is that a power?
Yeah.
No, I trust me, in my head I yell at the world more about anime than you. I make fun of it. I just come up to you and be like, anime titty, right? And you're like, yep.
Yeah.
Ryan, what would your power be?
For me, it'd be either the ability to ramble constantly about comic books, or a constant craving for shitty takeout pizza. Either one.
If Kirby swallowed you, he'd probably just like become it would be the Punisher Kirby, right?
God damn it!
What kind of shitty takeout pizza are we talking?
Normally, I get Domino's because it's closest to my apartment, so I go and do carry out like not all the time, but like once a month maybe. So
enough to feel bad.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, that's about once a month.
Yeah.
Anonymous asks, speaking of pizza, Papa John, will the new Star Fox game be good or bad?
Well, I haven't played it.
Thought you played it at E3.
No, I wanted to, but the lines were really, really long. That was the one Nintendo game that I didn't get to try.
Right.
Dang.
Which was kind of a bummer because everything I heard about that game was interesting and worried. Everyone is really worried about that game.
Yeah. So what do you think now? Like, if you had to say?
Well, I don't know. Just from like from what I have heard, from what I have picked up from the feelers that I have put out.
The probes.
Disgusting. Both of you.
Really? All right, sure. I'm worried about that game. I have heard that they were internally discussing delaying it very, very recently because they didn't think it was up to par. I'm hearing that you're not going to be able to turn off motion control 100%, which is I don't know. I'm really like, I want a new good Star Fox game really bad. Like, Star Fox 64 is one of my favorite N64 games, and I would love a new one of those.
It looked a lot like that in the Direct.
You're right, but if that game controls, like, if the motion control is too much of that game, it's gonna suck.
Yeah.
And there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it, and that's just going to be a bummer. Like, I'm fine with motion control here and there if that is what the controls are based around, but if it's some half measure where it's only kind of like that, and it's this weird tilting of the controls, and you have to keep looking down and up and down and up to see your cockpit and shit, that's going to be terrible. But if you're just looking at the screen, you're moving the thing around and shooting like a normal game, that might not be that bad.
I say wait. Don't go buy that. Definitely don't pre-order it. Wait a week or two and see how that game washes out.
You know what? To everyone listening to this, just wait for me to buy it. Wait for me to be the guinea pig, because I'm either gonna get a code for it, or I'm gonna go out and buy that. I'll talk about it on the podcast at least.
You're confirming right now that you're gonna buy Star Fox Day 1.
I might. I mean, I don't know. We'll see.
No, you can't. No, you can't. No, you said it right here.
I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try.
Oh, now they all have to wait for you to try.
Because I might not have the money. I'm sorry. I'm broke.
Giga Darth asks, will you play Deep Fear or Michigan Report from Hell for your next train wreck? I don't know what those games are.
I'll address this. I am not super familiar with Deep Fear. I know it came out on the Saturn.
It was good.
Was it? Do you know that?
No, that was a Saturn joke.
No.
Keep going.
And I am a little bit familiar with Michigan Report from Hell. I would love to play Michigan Report for Hell on Ride the Rails, but the problem is actually getting it for a video, and I'd have to get like a capture card and all that. But I will say, if you like games like that, I'm not going to make any firm promises here, but for quite some time, Niall and I have discussed playing Deadly Premonition on the YouTube channel at some point in the future. No concrete plans. So if you like those kinds of games, keep your eye out for that. Maybe. So there you go.
All right.
And that's it.
Yeah. Thanks for sending in questions, everybody.
You can send us questions at podcast@videogamechoochoo.com for emails, or you can go to videogamechoochoo.tumblr.com/ass.
Thank you, Michael.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Thank you, John.
And you're welcome, everybody.
Thank you, Ryan.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you, John.
And thanks to everyone who listens to the Video Game Choo Choo podcast. We have a bunch of stuff up on the site. We did a stream where we played 2 interviewees. What was the other one?
Factorio,
and a little bit of Fire Emblem...
Sacred Stones,
yes. We also have a video up of Ryan, you and Kay played Pokemon Stadium.
Yep, it was pretty fun. So
that's for a new video series.
Yeah, for our retro video game series. If you like Pokemon, if you like Pokemon Stadium, I would check it out. We had a good time playing it. So
it's good.
Yeah.
We have a bunch of writing on the site.
Do
where
we?
Great sell job. Really good.
You sounded a little uncertain.
I don't know.
I guess you can call it writing.
Yeah, we have words in sentence order.
Yep.
Perhaps.
Says the editor-in-chief.
Yeah, sometimes I feel like y'all are putting words together in a good way, and I like it. I like what's going on. Yeah. But no, just go check out the website every day for new content. And we will be back next week with another episode of the Video Game Choo Choo Podcast.
Jonathan is the champion.
He certainly is.
Yep.
All right, let's end this before you start calling me Jonathan again.
Digimon.
We'll see you next week.
Bye.
See ya.